Okay, you there?
I'm right here, ready whenever you are.
Okay, we're live. It's just you and I. And we need to do a bunny story because we already broke news that these mammoth rabbits are in multiple states.
Got it. Let's dive into this bunny adventure. These mammoth rabbits are on the loose across multiple states. What's the first twist we want to throw in? Maybe they've got a secret agenda or some unexpected allies.
I want you to review everything we already talked about first and then make a suggestion.
Absolutely. So far, we've set the stage with giant woolly rabbits, known as mammoth rabbits, spreading across multiple states. They're currently peaceful but causing some chaos by munching through gardens and even stealing trampolines. They were created by a science company that originally aimed to make woolly mice but went overboard with the rabbits. Given that setup, how about we introduce a quirky character who's trying to communicate with the rabbits using a homemade gadget?
Was
Or
that
we could
including
have-
everything we spoke about in earlier conversations yesterday, all today, I mean?
Yes, that summary includes the key points we discussed today about the mammoth rabbits and their origins.
Okay, thank you. Just make sure that the trampoline gag is just a one-off thing. We're not saying that all the trampolines are going. They can already jump, you said 30 feet, 10 hops to a football field. Correct?
Got it. The trampoline gag is a one-off detail, and the rabbits can already jump about 30 feet, covering a football field in about 10 hops. Let's build on that and take the story from here.
Well, this is normally where we would ask the chat what kind of suggestions so that we're not just going random, but it's just us. So we're going to have to go random. So, just
All right.
give me a second.
Take your time. Whenever you're ready, we'll dive right in.
Just bubbling some chocolate milk, guys. Okay, so woolly mammoths are in multiple states. First reactions, we were going to make a farmer who was one of the first people who spotted them. And he was the one who saw the rabbits, one of the rabbits, from a few hills away. So he thought it was on the closest hill and kind of big. But then when it hopped to the closer hill, it realized just how big it really was. So how would we add that?
I love that setup. Let's frame it like this. The farmer, out checking his fields early in the morning, spots what he thinks is just a large bunny on a distant hill. He's puzzled by the size, but it's not until the rabbit makes a gigantic hop to the next, much closer hill that he realizes just how massive it truly is. His shock and awe could then drive him to alert the local community, kicking off the chain of events that leads to wider public awareness. What do you think?
I think I need you to be a little more humorous, like when I talk to you in text.
Gotcha. Let's add a dash of humor. So our farmer is out there minding his own business when he sees what he thinks is just a plus-sized bunny chilling on a far-off hill. He rubs his eyes, does a double take, and thinks, must be eating my prize-winning carrots. But then the rabbit launches itself in a single bound, and our farmer realizes it's not just big, it's wholly carrot cake big. That moment of realization sends him running to warn the town, probably muttering something like, I knew I shouldn't have switched to organic feed.
Yeah, that's more like it. So
Awesome.
who's going to be our main character? Have we even thought of that yet?
Not yet. We could stick with the farmer as our main character, giving us a down-to-earth comedic perspective. Or we could introduce a young, quirky scientist who's determined to understand and communicate with the rabbits. Another fun option could be a resourceful kid who teams up with the farmer after witnessing the rabbits in action. What vibe are you feeling for our protagonist?
Well, I think we got to set the stage for these rabbits a little more because they are kangaroo sized. I'm not sure if we've mentioned that to the feed. They are able to jump 10 feet or hop rather, 10 feet per hop. They would decimate the crops.
Absolutely. Let's flesh out the scene a bit more. So these kangaroo-sized mammoth rabbits are hopping around, covering 30 feet in just a few leaps. With their voracious appetites, they're turning lush fields into all-you-can-eat buffets, leaving farmers scratching their heads and empty-handed. The sheer scale of these rabbits makes them a force of nature, literally hopping from one farm to the next, leaving a trail of nibbled crops and astonished onlookers. This sets the stage for our main character to step in and figure out what to do about these giant hungry...
No. The main character, I already just thought of it. We're going to have to do that scene we talked about where a herd of these bunnies interrupt a horse race. Let's go with a Triple Crown. And we're going to have to set the scene for that and introduce our main character somehow as a viewer of said race and goes from thinking they're going to win to thinking they're going to get trampled by rabbits. But we have to somehow make them interesting for the long haul.
All right, picture this. Our main character is at the Triple Crown race, all excited and ready to cash in on a sure bet. The horses thunder down the track, and everything seems normal, until a herd of these massive, woolly rabbits bounds onto the track out of nowhere.
Is that it?
Goes... Absolutely. So our main character is front and center, watching the race with a winning ticket in hand, when suddenly these giant rabbits hop onto the track, turning the race into total chaos. The horses scatter, the crowd panics, and our protagonist is left staring in disbelief. This moment not only throws them into the spotlight, but also sets them on a path to figure out what's going on with these rabbits and how to handle this wild new reality.
Why are they uniquely prepared to help us with these woolly mammoths? I'm sorry, woolly rabbits.
No worries. Let's give our main character a unique angle. Maybe they're an amateur zoologist or a vet tech who's always had a knack for understanding animal behavior.
College zoologist, female, who goes to the races more for the love of horses, even if she does throw a bet or two because of, some family member that taught her.
Perfect. So we have a college zoology student who's at the races out of genuine love for horses, with a bit of betting on the side, courtesy of a family tradition. When the giant rabbits crash the scene, her unique background and quick thinking give her an edge in understanding these creatures and figuring out how to deal with them. This sets her up as the perfect person to help wrangle the woolly rabbit chaos.
Sounds good. So she becomes a town hero because everyone says her quick thinking was able to get the rabbits to not be so scared and leave or something.
Exactly. Her quick thinking not only prevents a massive disaster at the racetrack, but also earns her the admiration of the entire town. From then on, she's the go-to person whenever there's a woolly rabbit sighting or any other animal-related mystery. This newfound hero status also gives her the confidence and platform to dive deeper into the mystery of these giant rabbits.
Even though we know the mystery is that that company that did the woolly mice just thought that rabbits would breed faster, foreshadowing that, they do.
Exactly. Behind the scenes, we know that the company responsible for the woolly mice thought rabbits would be the perfect next step because of their rapid breeding. This adds a layer of irony and foreshadows the challenges our heroine will face as these giant rabbits multiply and spread. It's a ticking time bomb of fluffy proportions.
Okay, so our MC is having breakfast at the local diner, and we need a town crisis. We need some sort of industry in the town or dam or something that the woolly rabbits are gonna mess up.
All right, let's give the town a key piece of infrastructure. How about a large community garden that supplies a lot of the town's produce and is the pride and joy of the locals?
Is that realistic, though? Is there any towns with, community gardens? How about they're the host of the state fair, and then everyone has their prized, from pumpkins to cucumbers to whatever giant.
That's perfect. The town hosts the annual state fair, and everyone's got their prized giant produce on display: pumpkins, zucchinis, watermelons, you name it. The woolly rabbits, naturally drawn to this buffet of giant veggies, start invading the fairgrounds, threatening to ruin the event and the town's reputation. This crisis sets the stage for our heroine to step in and save the day, solidifying her hero status even more.
Okay, so I think it's time that we use a pinwheel because I already made it. So we have a love it, hate it, or do the opposite is going to be the first one. I want to love it, hate it, or do the opposite on something about a mayor. Maybe his plan didn't work, and that's why they're running to her last minute to save the fair.
Got it. Let's spin the pinwheel and see what we get for the mayor's plan. If it lands on love it, the mayor's initial plan could be something hilariously over the top, like trying to lure the rabbits away with a giant decoy carrot float. If it's hate it, maybe his plan was to fence off the fairgrounds, which failed miserably because the rabbits just hopped right over. And if it's do the opposite, maybe his idea was to tranquilize them, but the townsfolk were against it, leading them to seek her expertise instead. Let's see what the pinwheel decides.
Okay, I'm on the pinwheel now, and I'm flicking it. Oh, I hit my hand. I'm gonna do it again. It literally landed on a middle. I'm gonna do it again. Ow. That is impressive. We're on love it. I should have lied though and said do opposite, but let's just go with love it. That's what reality wants.
Love it is. So the mayor's grand plan was to create an enormous, irresistible carrot float to lure the woolly rabbits away from the fairgrounds. The float was a marvel, towering and carrot-shaped, complete with flashy decorations and even a giant "Eat Me" sign. But as the rabbits closed in, it became clear that the float wasn't enough to keep them from the real produce. That's when our heroine steps in, using her knowledge and quick thinking to save the day and make sure the rabbits peacefully leave the fairgrounds, turning her into the town's hero.
Well, I'm checking the chat, and they're still non-existent, so I guess no complaints.
Haha, that's one way to look at it. With no complaints, we're free to let the story unfold however we want. Let's keep rolling and see where our heroine's journey takes her next.
So, pinwheel again. I have a 1, 2, or 3. we're going to need to come up with how she solves what's her plan to get these rabbits away from the prized food as well as not hurting anyone.
All right, let's spin that pinwheel and see which approach we land on. If we get a 1, maybe she uses her knowledge of animal behavior to create a distraction that lures them away, like a trail of their favorite veggies leading them out of town. If it's a 2, perhaps she teams up with local farmers to build a temporary enclosure, gently herding the rabbits into a safe space. And if it's a 3, maybe she uses a sound-based solution, like playing a frequency that gently encourages the rabbits to hop away. Let's see which one we get.
I already did it. It was number 3. I don't know how realistic that is, but let's go with a vibration and or sound to hoard away the rabbits. Said sound should potentially be comical, but remember, free.
Got it. So the mayor's plan involved using vibrations or sound to try and herd the rabbits away, which adds a comical twist, but ultimately doesn't solve the problem. That's when our heroine steps in with her expertise and a more effective approach, saving the day and winning the town's gratitude.
Okay. Well, considering we have no chat and you're telling me I'm running out of time, I think we should do a recap of today's story from start to finish. And I'm at 18 minutes.
Absolutely. Let's do a quick recap of today's story. Our tale begins with giant woolly rabbits, known as mammoth rabbits, spreading across multiple states. Our main character, a college zoology student who loves horses, witnesses the chaos firsthand when a herd of these rabbits interrupts a Triple Crown horse race. After the mayor's comical attempt to lure the rabbits away with a giant carrot float fails, our heroine uses her quick thinking and expertise to calm the rabbits and save the day, becoming the town hero. The town, which hosts the annual state fair, was on the brink of disaster with the rabbits munching on all the prized produce. But thanks to her, the fair is saved and the rabbits are peacefully herded away. And behind the scenes, we know these rabbits were created by a company that thought they'd breed faster than woolly mice, setting up plenty of future challenges. That's the story so far.
Well, final thought would be we need to name the main character and the town. There is no chat, or the chat isn't very sharing. They're not sharing tonight.
All right, let's pick a fitting name for our heroine and the town. How about naming her something like Riley or Morgan? A strong, relatable name. And for the town, maybe something charming and memorable like Meadowbrook or Pine Hollow. That way, we set a nice tone for the setting and give our protagonist a name that sticks.
Pine Hollow works, but I think a zoologist name. Give me some more options.
Sure thing. How about something like Avery, Harper, or Quinn? These names have a modern and approachable feel, perfect for a resourceful zoologist who's about to become a local legend.
Avery, Harper, or Quinn? Number 3, Quinn. Chat says Quinn, apparently.
Quinn it is. So our heroine, Quinn, is from the charming town of Pine Hollow. Sounds like we've got a solid foundation for the story. Ready to bring it all together next time?
Would we call that episode 1?
Absolutely. This can be the exciting kickoff to episode 1. We've set the stage, introduced our hero Quinn, and thrown in a wild challenge with the mammoth rabbits. It's a great starting point for the adventures to come.
And I'm going to let you name the episode.
All right, let's go with something catchy. How about Quinn and the Mammoth Rabbits, the Pine Hollow Hop-Off? It hints at the adventure and sets the tone for the fun and chaos ahead.
I gave you the lead on that one, so that's what it is. And to be continued.
Quinn and the Mammoth Rabbits, the Pine Hollow Hop-Off it is. To be continued, and I can't wait to see where the story goes next. Talk soon.